Update. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister-in-law that breastfeeding is not about her journey, but about her starving baby? Original post. So I've published the first part of this story before on breastfeeding in mommy subreddits, and I've been made to feel like a monster because mother knows best. For the record, we are in Europe. I'm sorry for my English, and also I'm extremely emotional. My sister-in-law Julia gave birth to little Amanda 11 weeks ago. From the beginning, Amanda was barely growing, mostly losing weight instead of gaining. My country is heavily pro-breastfeeding, and Julia decided that she wanted to breastfeed. However, Amanda wasn't gaining weight properly and landed in the 0.1 percentile for weight. Julia forbade me and my mom from coming to visit them. She said we would poison her if we brought her food. It was surprising, especially since before she gave birth, we were good friends. So we only saw little Amanda in pictures and videos my brother had been sending to us. Only once my mom said she was worried because Amanda looked hungry. She was crying and writhing, pushing her fists into her mouth, while Julia narrated in the video that this is how a happy baby looks with a full belly. So my mom asked if Julia could give her a bottle because Amanda still seemed hungry. Julia went berserk and cut us off completely. She was pumping, but her supply didn't go up at all. Amanda had a tongue tie resolved, but it didn't help much. Julia was using donor milk to top up Amanda's feeds through a sonde. I don't know what this thing is called. Now, every week they've been visiting a doctor's office for a controlled checkup of the weight. This is where it gets really messy. They were there yesterday, and yesterday, my brother called us crying that Amanda is in the hospital. The story went like this. As always, Julia asked my brother to bring her coffee before the weighing appointment while she was using the nursing room to change Amanda's nappy. As always, he did. Except this time, a nurse went in during it to ask Julia about some paperwork, and the nurse saw that Julia was feeding Amanda from a bottle right before the checkup. The bottle had 150 cc of milk, and it was already half gone. The nurse said that Julia was supposed to wait with feeding until after the checkup, and then my brother came in. He got very mad. He said that Julia refused to give Amanda bottles, so what the heck was going on? Then he took the bottle, and at the same time, Amanda vomited a very, very thick milk. The nurse went crazy, checked the bottle, and saw it was filled with milk mixed with rice cereal. The doctor who was called immediately ordered Amanda to be moved to the hospital for an emergency checkup, especially after seeing Julia, who went berserk and started throwing things around and yelling that she would feed her baby however and whenever she wanted. We went to the hospital to see my brother. Amanda already had her blood tests done, and they showed some problems with kidneys, liver, vitamin levels, and iron. The doctor said she had been starving for a long time and asked why nobody from our family reacted. We told them the story about Julia claiming that we would poison her. So the doctors immediately took Julia for a psych evaluation for PPD, but turns out she was faking it. She admitted to the doctor, super scared that someone might take the baby from her, that her friend told her if she faked PPD, we would leave her alone and she'd have peace of mind during breastfeeding. The doctors told her that what she did was not okay, and that she was regularly stuffing the baby with milk and cereal before the weight checkups to pretend Amanda had grown. They told her she should just give Amanda bottles with formula, because this is about the little girl's life and survival, as she is now failure to thrive, and her life and health are in danger. Julia got very mad. She yelled that she would either breastfeed Amanda or not feed her at all, and that the choice was only hers because this is her baby and nobody else's. That's when the doctors told Julia that either she would go for another psych evaluation or they would call the police. Julia agreed to the evaluation and they locked her in for a week. My brother is working 14 hours per day because they are poor, and after their wedding, Julia decided she wanted to be a traditional wife and he has to earn their living. So my brother said that whatever Julia was doing must be right. But after seeing what was happening, he got super mad. He said she starved Amanda on purpose for her own sick satisfaction, even though he was working hard to provide money so they could buy formula if needed. He said he wanted a divorce and full custody of Amanda. We don't know if he will get it, because it's rare for dads to take custody of daughters. Also, the doctors are mad at him for not noticing what Julia was doing. Before Julia went to the ward, I got angry and told her that she made monsters out of us and that we were just worried about her and Amanda, and that this whole situation was always only about Julia and her breastfeeding journey and not about Amanda's life. She called me a bitch and said I should have died in childhood because nobody can love an autistic person like me. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments before reading the updates. Not the a-hole. Julia is very mentally ill and was willing to end her baby to maintain some weird illusion. The doctors say she may have schizophrenia or some kind of psychosis or very dangerous mania. But if after the evaluation they find out nothing, she probably won't get Amanda back. Not the a-hole, obviously. Regardless of what Julia's diagnosis is, she is not safe to parent poor little Amanda. Obviously, the infant's needs come first, regardless of what journey a parent wants to make. Based on my work with abused and neglected children, the idea that mommy knows best is sadly very wrong in many cases, and fatally so in some. This is heartbreaking to read. Your niece's health should always come before your sister-in-law's pride or desire to exclusively breastfeed. It sounds like the doctors are finally stepping in, which is good, but your brother really needs to wake up and advocate for Amanda before things get worse. He admits he made a lot of mistakes. He said he always trusted Julia and wanted the best for her and Amanda. He says he hates himself for what happened. My mom said we'll help him financially as much as we can. I also hope Julia will be okay. I really liked her before everything that happened, and she was always kind to me and was never bothered that I'm autistic. But mostly I pray for Amanda. Now for the first update. I got so many comments under my original post and so many private messages that I am unable to reply to each and every one, so I figured I'd post a short update. First of all, our little Amanda is doing well and is still in the hospital. She's being fed with formula in bottles. My brother had to agree to this, and since yesterday, gained 30 grams. She had more tests done and we're waiting for the results. The doctors are also worried about the fact that Julia force-fed Amanda with cereal mixed with donor milk before the appointments, because apparently it can cause some problems with the digestive system in the future, especially since they don't know how long she's been doing it and she won't admit it. Second, thank you all for your support. Also, thank you for the comments stating that we let Amanda down and put her in danger. My mom and I realize it, and we feel terrible about it. Some people were questioning what happened because my previous post in other groups stated that Julia was feeding Amanda and doing everything she could to provide milk for her. And yes, that was true. That's what we knew at the time. We didn't know Julia decided that it was either breast milk or nothing at all. She only admitted this in front of the doctors. My brother took vacation from work and spends most of his time with Amanda, but he will be moving in with us. All this time, he's been working and then doing overtime under the table, and he feels exhausted but says he had no other choice. He promised he will do everything he can to be a good father. We don't have any information about Julia, but no matter what, we worry about her. She's our family as well. She doesn't have her own family. She said before the wedding that she and the rest of her family had a fight and they cut her off, so she is alone in this world, and we felt very sorry for her. We managed to get in touch with one of Julia's friends, Linda, who was donating milk to her. Linda was terrified by the story and admitted she was the one who told Julia to pretend she was afraid of us poisoning her. All of it was because Linda's mother-in-law was demanding to visit them after the birth, so she used this excuse for people to leave her alone. And apparently Julia told Linda before giving birth that Amanda was only hers, and that only she had the right to hold her, and Michael, my brother, if really needed. I don't understand this because my mom never asked to hold Amanda. In the hospital 2 days ago, it was the first time we saw Amanda in real life. Linda also told us that she introduced Julia to the Milk League, and that's where Julia found out all the bad things about formula and bottle feeding. It also turns out she never wanted to vaccinate Amanda, but my brother forced her to. Linda said she recommended Julia a couple of lactation consultants who apparently weren't real educated LCs, but some women with Instagram accounts claiming to know a lot about breastfeeding. This is all for now. This is all the information I've gathered. The most important thing to me is that Amanda is safe with the doctors and nurses. I will update whenever I know something more if you want. So not only was this woman starving her kid, she was purposely surrounded by people who were also misinformed to a dangerous degree. I'm glad the baby is safe now, but I honestly don't think sister-in-laws should ever be near a child again. I hope Linda's baby is safe too. Yeah, she sounds like nutcase number 1, feeding crap to unstable nutcase number 2. I would want to contact Julia's family to find out why there is no contact. Maybe this isn't her first mental breakdown. Definitely need the background and family medical history for Amanda's sake. My brother said that this is what the doctors ask him to do. They said that certain mental illnesses can be in the family, and they would like to know what's going on. My brother will try to contact them, but we have never seen them, so it's a bit complicated. It seems pretty suspicious whenever one person says their entire family cut them off and don't really give a good reason for it. Makes you wonder why so many people would cut one person off over an argument, and if maybe they deserved it. Now for the second update a week later. Happy news. Amanda is currently at our home and doing very well. Before I start with the update, I want to specify that A, I don't know everything. If the story is missing details, then I'm sorry. But I can't provide more as I am often not present when the conversations or revelations take place. I rely only on what I'm told. B, our attorney told me that for the good of our family and most of all Amanda, I'm not allowed to share the details of the ongoing case. There are many people involved now, many authorities. I need to keep my family safe, and most of all Amanda. We owe her the best. So I won't be answering questions about whether judgment is involved, whether there are charges, what the charges are, interrogations, court, etc. Please don't ask me these questions because I won't answer them. Amanda, she's out of the hospital and currently placed in our family home. We will have daily visits from nurses who are going to check up on her and on us to make sure she's growing well and that we're taking good care of her. Currently, she gains around 35 to 40 grams per day, which the doctors say is an amazing result. She is also pink now, not gray, and very curious about everything. I was scared to hold her because I've never held a baby before. But my mom showed me how, and Amanda was smiling at me and playing with my braid. My older sister has come to live with us for the time being to help so everyone can get enough sleep and be a present caregiver. Amanda is eating every 3 hours around the clock from a bottle. She's getting a high-calorie formula and seems to be doing well. Tomorrow she will have another blood test done and we're hoping for the best. We asked the doctors a couple of days ago to ask Julia to give us some breast milk for Amanda if she was willing, but Julia didn't agree. The doctors told us that she once again stated that either she is feeding her baby from her breast or she won't be feeding her at all. So, formula it is. Julia, as far as I know, she's probably still in the psych ward, as she hasn't returned home. We don't know what's going on, because she canceled all the permissions she had given my brother to know about her health. So nobody can tell us anything right now. Before she canceled the permissions, one of the doctors told my brother that she has a strong narcissistic personality, but they believe there's more to this. Michael, my brother knows about his mistakes. He's taking some sort of parenting classes, going to therapy, and working on himself to prove that he can take care of Amanda. He will be fighting for full custody. I can't talk about other things that are going on, so that's basically it about him. But he found out something interesting that he shared with the doctors at the psych ward. About Julia's family, my brother managed to find them through social media. When he told them about Amanda and everything that happened, Julia's parents immediately wanted to come visit. But Julia's father has mobility issues, so instead they invited Michael to visit them to talk. This story is how Michael told us. If there are missing details, I'm sorry, but this is all I know for now. There were more things, I think, but later he decided to talk to my mom behind closed doors. Julia was raised in a religious family in a small town. She has one younger brother, Sven. Her parents said that Sven was always a very sickly child. He was always ill, always with strange diseases that made no sense, sudden fevers, stomach bugs when nobody else had them. Sometimes he would have broken bones, like fingers or toes, and he couldn't explain how it happened. The whole family had to take care of him, and because they had no babysitters, Julia was always with them in the hospital when they had to care for Sven, mostly on weekends. This isn't really weird because I was always hurting myself doing silly things, so I can relate. But then they said that when Sven was 18, he took all his belongings, moved out of the house, and began working in the city. He only occasionally contacted his mom to say he was fine and no longer sick. Julia was very upset when Sven moved out. Her parents said she was always very, very close with Sven, and they were always together. She became angry afterward, breaking plates and glasses and even once putting a hole in the wall after throwing a chair at it. So her parents asked her to move out. She moved out and soon after met my brother. They were together for less than a year before the wedding because she said she was from a very religious family and could not wait. The thing is, Julia is very, very pretty. And my brother, well, he's my brother. So he was really into her and he really wanted to be with her, especially because she was educated and he worked simple jobs. He always admired her for her knowledge. And that's one of the reasons he never questioned what she was doing with Amanda, especially since Julia told Michael multiple times that she was the smart one in the house. Shortly before the wedding, Julia contacted her parents demanding money for the wedding dress and wedding party, as well as inviting them. She also pushed for her brother to come. But when the parents called Sven to tell him, he said he would never be in any proximity to Julia, not after what she had done to him. He broke down and said that all his illnesses were caused by her. She forced him, for example, to eat raw potatoes, old cottage cheese, and once even some random animal feces she found in the fields. She also used to play with him violently, and he often ended up with broken fingers, toes, and his wrist 3 times. The parents were furious. I'm skipping the part about how they quarreled and investigated whether it was true, but apparently it was true. They said they no longer wanted to see their daughter. She wouldn't get any money, and if they had known who her fiancé was, they would have reached out to warn him not to marry her. But they didn't know Michael back then, as Julia refused to introduce him to her parents before the wedding. Michael was very angry with Julia's parents for not trying to warn him, but they later said they honestly thought Julia was lying about the wedding altogether, since she used to lie frequently when she was a teenager and young adult, and they assumed she just wanted money from them. So the parents didn't make any effort to find Michael, but instead focused on Sven and helping him, which is fair. That's the story for now. I felt sick when Michael told us about Sven. It's been a couple of days, and I still feel shocked and upset. It feels so wrong, especially because Julia was always kind to me. She never tried to hurt me. I've known her for almost 1.5 years. Michael told the doctors about it, but they couldn't say anything because of the lack of permissions. So for now, this is it. I had a feeling she was hurting her little brother as I was reading it. You must tell whatever authority involved in her case. She must never be unsupervised with this baby. They need to know, and her brother needs to know, as I hope he would testify to help this innocent baby. And I still don't understand how it is possible that she hurt Sven, because she never tried to hurt me. Except maybe for that awful comment a bit more than a week ago. Because you can talk and fight back, and tell people she's hurting you. Sven and Amanda couldn't do any of those things, so that's why Julia hurt them but never hurt you. People like her target vulnerable people who can't fight back. It's also why she isolated Amanda from your family and did her best to keep your brother away from her too, so she could keep hurting Amanda without interference. As Sven got older and was able to talk, she probably told him no one would ever believe him, and that's why he didn't tell them until years later. He was too scared. Either out of fear of Julia hurting him again, or because she made him terrified that he wouldn't be believed. I know I am naive, and my mom always tells me that I believe people too easily. But I just can't figure out what Julia would gain with this behavior. If she is sick like some people here say, then I get it. But why wouldn't she ask for help? When I had problems in school because I'm autistic and I was abused by my colleagues, I asked my mom for help. Last story. Am I the a-hole for sitting my brother and sister-in-law down and speaking up for my niece and nephews on how badly they are handling the new normal for their step-family? My brother has 3 children, Luke, 16 male, Cam, 14 female, and Bo, 11 male, with my late best friend Cam. My brother and my late best friend were married for almost a decade and separated just before Cam passed away from a brain bleed in her early 30s. My niece Cam was intentionally named very similarly to her mother. My brother was the one who suggested it when they found out baby number 2 was a girl. My niece always used her full name, while my best friend was always called Cam. After my best friend died, my niece decided she wanted that extra connection to her mom and stopped using her full name, choosing to go by Cam. Everyone respected this and started calling her Cam. My brother had no problem with her doing this previously. He called her Cam just like everybody else. When asked about her name, my niece would say she was named after her mom and was Mini Cam. This has now become a problem because my brother remarried a couple of years ago. His new wife has always had a problem with Cam and being the Mini. She tried to use Cam's full name, but my niece told her she didn't like it and that she went by Cam for a reason. Sister-in-law voiced some complaints a few months into the marriage, but dropped it around the rest of the family when she had no support. When she remembered that I was late Cam's best friend, she completely closed off to me. She has complained a few times about how often late Cam was mentioned and how people reminded my niece that she looked just like her mom. It all came to a head 2 months ago when my brother and sister-in-law sat the kids down and told Cam that it bothered sister-in-law for her to use the same name as her mom. Sister-in-law wanted everyone to use Cam's full name like she did before her mom died. Cam said she didn't see why that was such a big deal. My brother backed sister-in-law up. Sister-in-law also requested that they talk about their mom less at home because it makes her uncomfortable. Instead of doing this, the kids doubled down and talked about their mom more. Cam made sure her name was used significantly more, and the boys would repeat her name just to get to sister-in-law. My brother said nothing until sister-in-law tried to put a stop to it, and he supported her again, telling the kids not to chase sister-in-law away. The kids said they didn't care if she left. They would rather keep their mom's memory than lose it to make sister-in-law comfortable. Several days later, there was a fight where Cam told sister-in-law she would never be as good as her mom, and that her jealousy and insecurity would only lead her to realize she would never measure up. Cam was punished for this. The boys supported their sister, which caused more conflict in the house. The kids bundled all their mom's things up and sent them to my house for safekeeping. Sister-in-law freaked out, saying they were turning her into the enemy. She started using Cam's full name all the time, and my brother took her side when more fights broke out. The kids told me about this last week, so I decided someone else needed to step in. I sat my sister-in-law and brother down and told them plainly that they were messing up the new normal as a step family. I said that by making their mom the enemy, or someone who needs to be hidden away, sister-in-law and my brother have guaranteed that she will be the enemy to them. I said that fighting a person over their name just shows how much the two of them need to figure their issues out. They didn't appreciate hearing this from me and accused me of overstepping. Am I the a-hole? Now for the comments. Your brother is a piece of crap for supporting that nonsense. He's putting his kids second here. What a freaking failure of a father he is. Not the a-hole. I am so bloody sick of hearing about people trying to erase their dead spouse or parent to their children to appease their do-over partners. It's freaking disgusting. Not the a-hole. Make sure you keep their mom's stuff safe and ensure sister-in-law does not have a key. She'll never get a key to my place. There's zero worry of that. My brother doesn't even have one. Not the a-hole. You are advocating for your niece and nephews. They need the adult and family support since their dad is too worried about losing the woman giving him sex than he is about giving his kids the emotional support they deserve and need. Your sister-in-law needs therapy to understand she is competing against a dead woman and will never win. Any action she pulls against their dead mother will only make her look worse and cause more resentment. If they start family therapy, pay attention and make sure your brother and sister-in-law don't find someone who will tell the kids what the sister-in-law wants them to hear. Some therapists sadly go along with the parents when they know better because the parents pay and make the appointments. Good luck and good job being there for your nibblings. I don't think family therapy will be in their future. For one, I'm not sure my brother and sister-in-law could honestly afford it currently. But I also think they would be wary of spending money on something the kids won't take seriously. Because sister-in-law knows they won't want to work with them in therapy now. I'll support them the best I can because I love those kids and I know they need safe places to fall.